It's about families and fun. It's about taking in the sights on the beautiful Three Rivers. It's about powerboats and anything that floats. It's time to get ready for the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta with your hosts, Joe Arena and Catherine Amenta.
Welcome to Point State Park. I'm Joe Arena.
And I'm Catherine Amenta. In just a few days, hundreds of thousands of people are coming right here for the annual tradition of the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta.
We're going to highlight some of the big events and displays, and we're going to start with one big change.
Pyrotechnico is doing this year's 4th of July fireworks for the first time in 3 years. I had a chance to travel up to Newcastle to see what this year's show is all about. Before this year's July 4th fireworks burst above the Three Rivers, the show was born weeks earlier right here at Pyrotechnico headquarters in Newcastle. So everything gets loaded into there. Stephen Vitale, president and CEO, took me behind the scenes as they get ready for the big show. What's it like being on that barge when it's about to happen?
There's a lot of nervousness. We're 99.9% sure that it's going to go off. But those are good odds, but you know, you never know.
It all starts with choreographing the display on a computer. And listen to this, just to synchronize 1 minute of fireworks and music takes up to 2 hours.
5 seconds after these light, it hits in the center and it breaks apart and makes the show, goes boom and makes your color.
I ran into Michael Fox, who's VP of Operations, and he showed me how everything has to be exact. What happens if it's not?
Then it looks dumb.
We don't want it to look
we
dumb.
don't want it to look dumb, no.
And once the show is mapped out down to the second, all the work moves outside to this big field. Explain the layout here, because you would think everything would be in one place, but we see these little huts.
Because you can't have too much explosives in one place.
And because I wasn't wearing 100% cotton, I had to take extra precautions.
This will take any static. Just touch it. That's all you have to do. Now you can walk in.
Okay. Inside, we found fireworks veterans, Dino and Sammy, stringing together dozens of shells for the 4th's finale sequence.
You connect them like this because this is what makes a finale go boom, 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 boom.
We're told the entire show will be full of color, sounds, and shapes, plus patriotic and country music. But the finale is top secret. Do you know, Dino, what the finale is going to look like?
Don't tell him, Dino. He knows, but
You're not
he
going
won't
to tell me? I did learn about this firework, though, and it's something you can look out for during the show.
It's going to be blue and silver, cascading down.
These are the actual shells that are going to be used in the regatta special, and these are all 6-inch shells. This is the biggest you can actually use down at the point because of the proximity to all the people and the boats. And I'm told it would take more than 100 of these tables to make up the whole regatta show. It all adds up to weeks of hard work that these artists wouldn't trade for anything. Is it worth it, though, when you see it at the end?
Sure, of course it is. I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't.
We have the best seat in the house if you don't want to head downtown. Tune in starting at 8 o'clock on the 4th for the EQT Flashes of Freedom fireworks produced by Pyrotechnico. That is exclusively right here on Channel 11. And don't forget, download our WPXI fireworks app so you can get the details on all of the regatta events and fireworks shows across the area. Even share your pictures. Download it now on iTunes.
But of course, there's a lot more than just the fireworks going on here at the EQT Three Rivers Regatta. It all starts on the 3rd and ends on the weekend of July 5th. This year's newest attraction is called the Wheel of Lights. It's a giant gondola Ferris wheel standing 90 feet tall. It features LED lighting technology with more than 12 different lighting patterns. Tickets to ride, $5. And even event organizers are looking forward to riding.
I want to get on top of the Ferris wheel and be able to overlook the entire event and to see the whole footprint and all the people there, and also even the interaction between the land and the rivers, which is a focal point too, is to get, say, boaters back involved into the event and incorporate cohesively the river and land together.
And every day at the regatta will also feature man's best friend. The Muttley Crew Flying Dogs will be entertaining the crowds. This high-flying Frisbee dog team will steal the show and capture the hearts of dog lovers. And of course, there will be fast action on the water with the return of the Formula One powerboat races. Drivers from 3 different countries and 2 different continents are expected to compete on the always challenging circuit laid out on the fast and tricky course. And the return of the powerboats is a nod to past regattas.
1982 was the first time Formula One powerboats were ever in the United States, and it was at the Pittsburgh Regatta. So we want to embrace that and bring Formula One back to it and bring the biggest and the best that's out there to the city.
One of the most popular events at the regatta is taking place next Sunday. It's the Anything That Floats race. And by anything, they do mean anything, like this float from last year. It was the floating parking chair to salute those who saved their parking spots in Pittsburgh by using a chair. The Chair That Floats team leader John Chamberlain told us that a local salvage artist helped engineer the chair, and the rowing was much harder than he thought it would be. But his team is back this year, and we asked him what we might see from them.
This year we had the floating Permane sandwich. So it's all under wraps, you're not allowed to see any plans, but it's at a secret location in Lawrenceville, and we're slowly building it out, and I have no doubt it'll be a winner.
And by the way, if John's team does win, their charity, the Pittsburgh Emergency Medicine Foundation, gets the winnings.
Not bad. And all the excitement won't just be going on the water. There's going to be several local bands playing down here, and all the acts are set. Friday, July 3rd, the feature act is country artist Brett Eldridge. Eldridge won the 2014 CMA New Artist of the Year award with 3 consecutive #1 hits. He takes the stage Friday at 8 p.m. And Saturday, you're in for a patriotic treat. The United States Air Force Heritage of America Band from the Langley Air Force Base in Virginia will take the stage, and you'll hear your favorite patriotic songs like never before. And Sunday night, the regatta closes down with Grammy-nominated Chris Young. He has the current hit single, I'm Coming Over, and was named Country Music's Sexiest Man of the Year by Country Weekly magazine. All those performances are at the One Main Financial Stage. And for the first time this year, a limited amount of VIP tickets are going to be sold for a special pit section at One Main Financial Stage.
We've already told you a lot about what's happening at the regatta this year, but the good news is there's even more. We'll show you how tons of sand will be turned into something sensational for you to see as we get you ready for the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. Don't go away.
$150 tons of sand, and it's all being made into something pretty incredible. We're getting you ready for the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. And this is the 5th straight year that Sandsational will be creating an eye-catching sand sculpture at the regatta.
It's been taking shape down here at the point for about the last week, and Channel 11's Brittany McGraw takes us behind the scenes to show us how this sculpture comes to life.
This is our 5th year here, and we wanted to do something that was very Pittsburgh related. So we decided that we were going to do steel workers.
For the past 5 years, the Sandsational sand sculpting team has created awe-inspiring works of art.
We like to do something that's not expected.
For the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta.
And most people think of sand sculpture and they think of, okay, a castle and a dragon or maybe a coral reef. Well, we want to take it beyond that.
With 150 tons of sand, 4 sculptors, 2 weeks of time, creative flair and an eye for detail.
You always have to look at your work. You get up close and sometimes you forget what the big picture is going to be like.
They're able to transform just sand and water into a signature exhibit of the regatta.
There's no cement, there's no glue, there's no wireframe, and it's the compaction. We're forcing those grains to lock together, and the compaction is really what holds it together. We take 2 days just to compact it.
The sand for the sculpture isn't sand that you would typically find at the beach. It's river sand, and it's much finer and stickier.
When you have a good sand like this and you have a lot of it, you're able to do these big monumental pieces.
This year's sculpture features the steel workers of Pittsburgh.
It's lots of steel workers. They are forging the steel, they're casting iron, they're riveting, they're welding, they're doing all sorts of stuff.
And it's a theme that Sandsational knows will resonate with a lot of you.
They might recognize their father or themselves or their relatives have been working in the steel mills and factories around town.
Sandsational travels the world creating masterpieces like this.
I think what I like the most about what we do is a very friendly way to introduce people to art and sculpture, because a lot of people can relate to building a sandcastle at one point in their life. And what we're doing that just on a much larger scale.
And they say nothing beats the reactions they get to their finished works of art.
And I think maybe that's the best thing, that people come up, wow, and say, oh yay, I did a good job.
From Point State Park, I'm Brittany McGraw, Channel 11 News.
And Sandsational is just near the Portal Bridge. You can come down and watch them build it or check it out when it's all done.
Up next, we're tying in technology and history. We're going to show you how this regatta is coming together.
And we'll show you how you can see history up close and personal thanks to the Heinz History Center as we get you ready for the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. That's next.
Pittsburgh's history runs deep, deeper than you may even realize, and you'll be able to find out some things that you might not have known as we continue to get you ready for the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. Iconic figures, important moments in history, and inventions, they've all happened right here in Pittsburgh.
And during the EQT Three Rivers Regatta, you'll have a chance to experience them all.
We've got 10,000 square feet. We can do it.
Ann Mataras is the head of the museum at the Heinz History Center. She took Channel 11 on a personal tour of a few of the things you'll learn on the History Crawl. This self-guided tour tells the history of the regatta and Pittsburgh. On the North Shore, you'll discover about Pittsburgh's role in World War II.
This little American Bantam car company in Butler invents, sends a prototype. The Army comes back to them, they say, you've got 49 days to build us an example.
49 days?
49 days, wow. Only 3 companies responded to the initial RFP. The Bantam car company builds what we now know as the Jeep.
Another attraction and a part of Pittsburgh history that no one will miss this year at the Point is the Wheel of Lights Ferris wheel. The massive 9-story Ferris wheel will be set up in front of the Wyndham Hotel.
What Pittsburghers may not realize while they're riding that is the Ferris wheel is actually invented by a Pittsburgher, George Ferris.
Ferris was tasked to come up with the large revolving people mover for the World's Fair in 1893. It remains an iconic symbol of summer. And back on the North Shore, you'll learn about one of the most iconic neighborhoods in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's most famous neighborhood, we like to say, now lives at the History Center.
Mr. Rogers will be another stop where you learn how the popular children's show that debuted here in Pittsburgh decades ago is still influencing kids today.
He's part of Pittsburgh. He's, the fabric of America.
And by the way, the Heinz History Center will also be celebrating the 4th of July with a flag ceremony and folding at their Great Hall. That's Saturday at noon.
It's hard to believe, but the planning for this year's event actually started as last year's was ending. And now we're getting an inside look from the planners in their own words.
Bringing in some of the pieces of history was a big part of what we wanted to do. Infusing new technology is also a big part of what we want to do. So it's kind of like putting a festival together is like putting together a big puzzle. You take what you can do, what your budget allows you to do, and then come up with plan A, B, and C.
This is the 38th year. We're rebranding really the whole event this year. So, the freshness though is we're taking pieces of history of if you go 20 plus years ago that we're adding back into it, say something like the lighted boat parade or Formula One power boats that are coming back. But at the same time, we're adding some new events such as the 9-story high Ferris wheel that we're going to put into it, really upping the entertainment value. But we have some lofty long-term goals of really making this one of the best festivals in the whole country.
Music is a huge focus for us, really increasing the level and quality of the music entertainment that's offered. And so we just want to give people as much information as possible so they can enjoy as much of the event as they can.
I think we're always looking to outdo ourselves. Make it better every year, not get complacent with anything. Honestly, the biggest part is once the event starts and it kicks off is seeing all the people here and enjoying themselves here and the smiles on people's faces and the oohs and ahs and just making everybody happy. I mean, we're Pittsburgh people, born and bred here, so we love the opportunity to make this such a showcase event in Pittsburgh and the region.
And Darcy and Derek tell us that the planning for next year's regatta has already begun. They don't waste any time.
No, they don't. And patriotism is a big deal here at the Three Rivers Regatta, and we wanted to introduce you to a World War II veteran who's celebrating the 70th year of that war. Damani Lewis has his story.
That's what went on.
It's not often anyone can sit down with a hero. But don't say the H word to 92-year-old World War II veteran Clarence Cody Gomberg.
I'm no hero. No, come on. I did what I was supposed to do, and that was it. That was no hero.
He joined the Army, drafted shortly after graduation in 1942.
Hell, I was like 139 pounds, a little weakling, That's it. I just was going to do what I was supposed to do.
The Pittsburgh native served 15 months as a combat medic with the 343rd Medical Battalion, one of 39 men in his unit.
Our headquarters was a train station in Paris.
And it was at the beginning of his tour of duty he found a key piece of equipment to document his moments of war.
I happened to get hold of a little Kodak Brownie camera. Okay, and I took pictures.
His proudest picture, this one, taken in France, of Army Generals Dwight Eisenhower and Bernard Montgomery, the day Nazi Germany surrendered on May 8, 1945. For a GI, being in the same room with these two men was heaven on earth.
When you say the word generals, you like talking to God.
The dozens of pictures he took can't compare to the vivid images of battle he relives even 70 years later.
I had to climb aboard a tank, pull two guys out of a burning tank. And there's many a nights I can still hear these guys screaming, "Mama, help me." I can still smell it.
Throughout the war, Gomberg's unit is credited with helping 20,000 patients. He too found himself being one of them, losing 3 fingers.
I jumped in a foxhole with a fella, and we got shrapnel came in.
Cody says, being a Jewish American, he didn't learn what a concentration camp was until he stepped foot into an oven where countless bodies were burned in Germany.
You wonder, how can a person do that? How can they do it to another person?
Now, as America prepares to celebrate its 70th anniversary of the end of the Second World War, he is one of 2 men alive in his unit, but he tries to keep in touch with the other.
I called him on Memorial Day. His wife answered the phone and said, "Lester can't talk to you. He got cancer to the throat."
Meaning it's his voice that will carry on. Cody Gomberg hopes no one walks in his shoes ever again.
Something like this should never happen again, either in Europe or anywhere else in the world.
In Pittsburgh, Damani Lewis, Channel 11 News.
Well, he may not want to be called a hero, but he sure sounds like one to us.
Absolutely. And on July 4th, of course, we celebrate our independence and the freedom given to us by the men and women of our military.
And that means the big EQT Flashes of Freedom fireworks produced by Pyrotechnico this year. We'll show you the best places to watch as we get you ready for the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta. That's next. We're getting you ready for the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta, and we'll help you get the best seat in the house for the big fireworks show.
The EQT Flashes of Freedom fireworks produced by Pyrotechnico will be shot off 1 week from today. And while you may have your favorite viewing spot, I went around town looking for other top spots. Where is the best spot to watch the fireworks? It almost sounds like a silly question.
They do set it off from the river, and depending on how the wind blows.
No doubt, one of the most popular places is right at Point State Park, more specifically, the Great Lawn.
Gives a good view of the city and of the fountain area and the rivers where they're setting off the fireworks.
Park manager Kevin Blair says more specifically,
I would say probably right about in the middle of the Great Lawn would be a good place to be.
Thousands will be vying for that premium spot, and you can bring a picnic, beach towels and lawn chairs, but
you cannot have alcohol in the park, so that's one of the key things.
The next great view at the point is the fountain. And while it is a wide open view, it's also straight up.
Kind of think of it as like a movie theater. If you're in the front row, sometimes you gotta, look up pretty high to see things.
Next, and staying ground level, the North Shore. There are plenty of grassy seating areas. And if you prefer the view from above, you can check out the Elliott Extravaganza once again this year in the West End. Starting at 5 p.m., you can grab some food and fun with the whole family. On July 3rd and 4th, the Neighborhood Association will have live entertainment, games, and vendors. And if you choose Mount Washington, trees won't be getting in the way. But remember, no matter where you go, there will be thousands converging on the point, above the point, and in the water. So make sure you have a plan.
It's going to be a busy area to be in. It's going to be a popular area, so it's probably going to fill up pretty quick.
A reminder that if you don't want to brave the crowds, we will be giving you the best seat in the house for the fireworks, including the soundtrack that goes along with it. The EQT Flashes of Freedom fireworks produced by Pyrotechnico runs from 8 until 10 next Saturday night right here on Channel 11. And don't forget, download our WPXI Fireworks app. You can get the details on all of the regatta events and fireworks shows across the area. Even share your pictures. Download it now on iTunes. Security is always a big part of an event this large.
That's right, and we asked the planners about their efforts to make this year's regatta extra safe.
Security and safety is our number one thing over everything, even every type of program. And we want it to be a safe environment for families. So, there's months and months of planning with that, with City of Pittsburgh Police and Public Safety and EMS and all those different entities, and we add private security to that also. But we do everything we can to make sure it is safe.
We want to give you one more look at all the events planned for the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta.
That's right. On Friday, July 3rd, the Dragon Boat races kick off at the regatta at noon. At 2:30, you can catch the jet ski stunt shows, and 9:30 p.m. is the return of the lighted boat parade. On July 4th, noon is the start time for the Formula One powerboat race trials. The jet ski stunt shows are set to start at 2:30 in the afternoon, and at precisely 9:36 p.m., the EQT Flashes of Freedom fireworks show begins. Then on Sunday, the regatta starts off with the jet ski stunt shows at noon. 1 p.m. is the fan favorite Anything That Floats event, and at 5 p.m., you'll want to be in place for the Formula One powerboat race finals. And make sure you stay with WPXI.com on all of your devices for details and coverage of the EQT Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta.
Thank you so much for joining us, and don't forget, you gotta regatta. Have a great night.